United Nations has recently released the population forecast up until the end of this century. We are going to look at the 10 fastest declining population and the reason why these countries are losing so badly. Declining population bring all sorts of problems. Biggest one is loss of workforce and productivity. Most people between the age of 25 and 64 are the driving force of the economy. They pay taxes so the government can provide social services and build infrastructure like road, hospitals and schools. The other problem is brain drain. When smart, talented people leave the country, they take their country's innovation to their new country. So the home country's economy suffers. One of the reasons for the world population decline is lower birth rate. Babies are not on trend anymore. I know they are a lot of work. I have 3 kids including one set of twins. So I know what I am talking about. But babies are our future. Some of the countries in the video already feeling the negative effect of population loss. Some of them already have a growing number of ghost villages. The population losses are felt first in the villages, where the population is already low. As people leave, shops, hospitals and schools will close. So people will try and move to bigger cities or towns, so their kids don't have to sit in the school bus for over an hour each way, or find a doctor to take care of them. People are the backbone of a country. Without people, there is no culture, there is no tradition, there is no economy, and the countries will lose their power and eventually they will be forgotten. So on this list, we are going to look at the fastest declining countries, and 8 out of 10 of them are in Europe. The country with the most dwindling population is Albania. Albania's population today is 2.8 million. By 2100, its population will shrink to less than 1.1 million. That is less than their population in 1950s and 62% less than today's population. So imagine 2/3 of the population loss. That's huge. Look at this projected population pyramid by 2100. More than 56% of the population is over 50 years old. Albania's population started to decline in the 90s after the communism fell. Large-scale immigration started and still continues. According to European Agency for Asylum Seekers, Albania continued to be among the top 10 countries with the highest number of asylum seekers in Europe. Another reason is the low birth rate. Babies are not in fashion. Country with the second fastest declining population is Serbia. Serbia's population is about 8.7 million. By 2100, the population is expected to reduce to 4.2 million. That's a 52% reduction. Population started to decline in the later part of the 90s due to the years of war and sanction, followed by the breakup of Yugoslavia. There are so many villages in Serbia that's empty already. Serbian government said country is losing 103 people every day. Another reason is low birth rate. It is a common factor, as I mentioned before, across the globe. The country with the third fastest shrinking population is Moldova. Moldova's population is 4 million today. By end of 2100, it will be half of what is it today. The reason for the dwindling population is immigration due to endemic poverty and corruption. Due to Moldova's complex history, many Moldovians have multiple citizenship based on place of residency or ethnicity. It makes it easier for many of them to leave the country. Fourth one is Bosnia and Herzegovina. current population is 3.2 million, and by 2100 it is expected to fall down to 1.6 million, half of what is it today. Constant fear of new war, worsening political situation, human rights violation, and quality of life are major reasons why people are leaving the country. United Nations Population Fund conducted a survey with young Bosnians in 2021, and 47% of them wanted to leave the country at least temporarily. The population started to dwindle in the 90s when it was Yugoslavia, and it still continues. The fifth country to see the falling population is Bulgaria. The current population is 6.9 million. By 2100, it will be 3.6 million. Reason for the population decline is low childbirth, high death rate, immigration to Western Europe. Almost 1 million Bulgarians moved to other EU countries since Bulgaria joined European Union in 2007. Sixth country on the list is Croatia. Current population is 4.1 million. By 2100, it is expected to be closer to 2.1 million. Reason for the drop in population is combination of low childbirth and immigration toward the West since joining the European Union in 2013. Seventh country on the list is Ukraine. Ukraine's population before the Russian invasion was 43 million. Almost 8 million have found home in other countries since the war started. Population started to decline in 1995 due to immigration since the fall of USSR. UN predict the Ukraine's population will be around 24 million by 2100 due to immigration, high death rate and low birth rate. It could be even worse if the war continues and most people don't come back. The longer people stays in other country, it's less likely that they would come back, right? And every day people are dying in Ukraine. So the population could be really low. Eighth country with the fastest dwindling population is Lithuania. Current population is 2.1 million. By 2100, it will be down to 1.5 million. Reason for the decline is immigration to other European Union countries and low birth rates. Ninth, and the only Asian country on the list is South Korea. Current population is 51 million. By 2100, it is expected to be 29 million. South Korea is the world's fastest aging country. Current average age for the population is 43. That's high. But by 2100, it is going to be 60 years or over. Reason for the demographic dilemma is the combination of aging population and falling birth rates. After the Korean War in the 50s, most Koreans believed that education is critical for their children's future. So parents did everything possible to give them the elite education, including spending half of their income on their child's education. That's a huge burden on most families, and they could only afford to have one child. The problem right now is young people, particularly men in their 20s and 30s, are not able to land a safe, well-paying job. So they are forced to work in a part-time position with little to no security. It's making it harder for them to start a family. South Korean government has been fighting the population decline in the past decade or so and spent closer to 188 billion largely on financial support for couples with children. But so far, the increased spending has had little effect on boosting birth rates. The last and only American country on the list is Cuba. Current population is 11 million. It is Cuba's peak population. By 2100, Cuba's population is estimated to be 6 million. Cuban government sees immigration as safety valve, releasing internal pressure and encourage or allow politically or economically dissatisfied people to leave the country rather than opposing the regime and starting up trouble in the country. This has led many people, particularly young people, to leave the country, and this will lead to low birth rate and population decline. Thank you for watching. I hope this video is useful and made you think about healthy population for a country and the planet. And population, there are people who's encouraging people to have less kids and save the planet. On the other hand, there are many issues related to declining population, right? So I don't know which side to go, but it's a good, for me, it's been a good educational experience and I enjoyed that and hope you did too. Thank you again.